Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm excited for a great Dear John letter coming up later in the program. So we'll have that before you know it. Also, I've got a quote here from somebody named Oprah Winfrey. Ever heard of her?
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of thought so. Doesn't matter how far you might rise, at some point you are bound to stumble. If you're constantly pushing yourself higher, the laws of averages, not to mention the myth of icarsis, predicts that you will at some point fall. And when you do, I want you to know this. Remember this. There is no such thing as failure. Failure is life trying to move us in another direction. Oprah Winfrey. So she's saying no matter how hard you try, you're going to have a stumble here and there. And I think that's true. There are some people that, society props up, and we try to make these people like more than human, but the thing is, they're not. They're just regular folks. So when they make a mistake and everybody's like, I can't believe they did that, just remember, they're just regular people. So there you go. Coming up, we got a lot of special things going on today. We'll tell you about that in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Thursday, June the 29th. We're getting close to the end of this month. Holy cow. It is Drive Your Corvette to Work Day. Did you drive your Corvette, Heidi?
I did not.
I didn't either. Why not? We don't have Corvettes. If we did, we would drive them to work, and we would drive them everywhere else. It is also National Bomb Pop Day. Did you like those?
I loved those.
I haven't had one of those in years. I should have a bomb pop today. Because today
you're talking about the frozen ones.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
What were the ones that were, they were on they were suckers and they came to a point?
Pop.
Yes, I loved those.
National Handshake Day today. Didn't we just have Handshake Day? Because I remember reaching over and saying, shake my hand, and we shook hands. Do it again when I reach over.
No, just do your show. Do your job.
Shake
no,
my hand.
I'm not touching you.
It's National Handshake Day.
I don't know where those have been.
Leave me hanging. I'm going to just pretend you did. Oh, hey, good job. How'd you know my secret handshake? That's awesome. No, she snubbed me. All right. Get out there and shake someone's hand while driving your Corvette and enjoying a bomb pop.
John and Heidi.
I love watching TV shows and movies, but I hated seeing my monthly bill get higher and higher. All that money every month just to watch TV. Well, not anymore. We cut our cable. We were paying $185 a month for channels we didn't even watch. Now we pay for just the internet, and we save about $150 a month. And we still get to watch what we want, when we want, with no monthly fee. Learn how you can do this too at channelsurfertv.com. Watch the video there to learn how to watch movies and TV with no monthly fee. Do it today and save 50% at channelsurfertv.com.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. A man in China, his last name is He, H-E, and his girlfriend planned to get wed in a lovely ceremony, but things didn't quite go as planned when he, that's the guy, got into a spat with the bride, the night before the big wedding. Apparently, the argument was enough to scare away he, and he was a no-show the next day at his own wedding. His own wedding. It says his own wedding, but it's his name. They're just using the name he in here to confuse me. The bride's family decided, we're going to get even with he, and they went to court. The runaway groom was ordered to pay $7,500 to the family of the would-be bride for damaging the bride's reputation. So, there you go.
Oh, see, I wouldn't think it would be for that. I would think it would be for the expenses that they lost.
Yeah, I'm sure there were
the
some
cost
expenses.
Of the wedding.
It says spiritual compensation of $7,500 for damaging the bride's reputation.
Huh.
For about almost 20 years, I was a wedding DJ. And I had weddings every weekend. I'd go out and play music, and I loved doing it. It was so much fun, but I just got too old for that. I was like, I can't do this staying up late and driving all over the place and trying to understand what kind of music kids want to hear these days. I'm like, yeah, this ain't going to work. I remember a kid asked if I had 50 cents, and I gave him 2 quarters. I'm like, what? That's not what you wanted? I'm old. I'm sorry. So anyway, we had one time in all those 20 years where I got a call a week before the wedding where the bride called and said, I just want to let you know you don't need to be here next weekend. We're not getting married. So, and all the time that I did it, one bride where it didn't happen, I felt so bad for her.
Yeah.
Because I could tell it wasn't her idea, and it was just really sad. So that's tough stuff. What do you do in a situation like that? In this situation,
don't get married.
but in this situation, they decided to sue, and they got $7,500 for spiritual compensation. And you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Each day at this time, we talk about people doing dumb things under the influence, but addiction is no laughing matter. If you or someone you know needs help, there's a toll-free number you can call.
1-800-438-0380.
That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline.
1-800-438-0380.
And this is your brain on drugs. The food at the Los Lunas, New Mexico Burger King has gone to pot. 2 police officers were munching down their burgers and they realized, hey, something's not quite right here. That's not lettuce. They opened up the burger and saw that it had marijuana sprinkled on it. Yeah. Officials say the officers began acting oddly after eating the marijuana burgers. 3 Burger King employees were then arrested and charged with possession of marijuana and aggravated battery on an officer, which is a felony.
Yep.
So they were tampering with their food. That's not good.
I'm pretty sure we talked about this.
Did we talk about this?
I think we did.
We could have. I don't know. I don't remember. Was it recently? Like yesterday? Hopefully it wasn't just recently.
I don't know.
I'm losing my mind, but hopefully I'm not losing it that quick. This happened in Los Lunas, New Mexico, and I've never had anybody put something like that on my food, but I order with no onions, and there was a time that it came out and it had like the little onion crossed off, like no onions, and I took a bite and there were onions everywhere, and I looked up and the guy in the kitchen was laughing. He was watching to see. I was like, what was that all
What if you
about?
had an onion
I
allergy?
know. That's what I was thinking.
Could have killed you.
He just didn't like me. So. And thank you for that.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. We head to Springfield, Massachusetts, catching up with Daryl Jenkins there. He was arrested on counterfeiting charges. Heidi had to pay $500 bail. Unfortunately for Daryl, he decided to pay with counterfeit bills.
Oh, wow.
Now it's $5,000 bail.
What an idiot.
He tried to pay his $500 bail for counterfeiting with $500 in counterfeit money. It's just... You can't make this stuff up. I mean, you can't. Who would even make up a story like that?
Yeah, that's
just
crazy.
Oh, boy. You know, as long as we have people doing dumb things out there, we're always going to have something to talk about.
That's true.
I mean, we're just always going to have something to talk about. We got some great things coming up. I even have a couple of dumb criminals in the scoop of the day that's on the way. And we have your Dear John letter, since it is a Thursday. So we've got that coming up here in a bit as well. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
John and Heidi.
If you promised yourself you'd lose weight before you went to the beach, that's still within reach. Get some help from a cool pink drink. Try it free at pinkdrinkfree.com. This pink drink tastes great and can help you lose weight. 8 out of 10 Americans are overweight. If you're tired of being one of them, we'd love to help. People around the country are experiencing amazing results with this pink drink, and you can try it before you buy it at pinkdrinkfree.com. That's pinkdrinkfree.com.
John and Heidi.
Now your scoop of the day. If you want to make your boss like you even more, you're supposed to make your boss a hot cup of coffee. A study showed that just by holding hot coffee, even if they don't drink it, they will see you as a warm person.
Huh.
So, make sure you're around when they're getting their warm coffee, because if they're holding warm coffee, they'll see you as a warm person. Or they'll see you as somebody who just hovers by the coffee pot and doesn't get much work done. What are you doing here? Coffee again? Oh, I don't even drink coffee, sir. Why are you here? Well, I just want to watch you drink coffee. Yeah, why don't you go back to work? Do you even work here? What do you do here? There's a strange law that we haven't done strange laws in a long time, have we?
No.
We used to do these all the time. But I thought this was just kind of a funny, strange law. I did not realize the Mardi Gras float riders are required by law to wear a mask. So if you see them wearing a mask, it's because they have to, legally. They cannot go through the parade without a mask.
Huh.
That's kind of bizarre.
Interesting.
If you're not getting the rest you need, you may have sleep apnea. It says people with breathing problems that disrupt their sleep were less tired after 3 weeks of treatment with a breathing device compared to those with a placebo, where they strapped them in, but it was just a device that didn't even help. Can you imagine how awful that is? Having breathing problems? How about you put this mask over your mouth and nose, and we'll see if this helps. Oh, it doesn't? It was a placebo.
I think that's something that you need.
Oh, no, I don't want one of those things.
I know you don't want
Sleep
it,
like
but
Darth
I think
Vader.
you need it.
I just don't think I want to do it.
It would solve 2 problems. It would solve your breathing issues, and I would be able to turn off the white noise machine.
Well, a CPAP, you know what that stands for? Continuous positive air pressure, or airway pressure. That's what that stands for. Those masks reduce fatigue caused by obstructive sleep apnea, a chronic disorder that affects 12 million Americans. Sleep apnea raises the risk of high blood pressure, heart attack, stroke, irregular heartbeat, and diabetes. Wow, maybe I do need one of those masks. I think I got half that stuff. It occurs when soft tissue in the back of the throat collapses during sleep, blocking the airway and causing the brain to rouse the sleeper who gasps for air.
Yeah.
A cycle that can occur as many as 30 times in 1 hour.
You do that all the time, and it scares the hell out of me every single time.
I just want to keep you on your toes. That's all. I'll have to check into that. Hey, to be or not to be? If it's not your time to be taken, maybe you're not going to be taken. Take a listen to this. If you're looking for proof that God has an ultimate plan for your life, this is quite the story. A Miami woman decided to end it all. Her second attempt in 3 days, by the way. This time she thought, I'm going to just jump off my building. A 14-story high-rise. That's a pretty tall building.
That is a tall building.
You wouldn't think that there's any way you could survive a fall like that, right?
Right.
Well, she jumped, and she landed right on her behind on the roof of a Honda CR-V, and that cushioned the fall. The impact shattered all the windows in the car, crushed the roof, but she was able to just walk away.
Wow.
So she jumped off a 14-story building, landed bottom first, we'll say, on a car, a Honda CR-V, crushed all the windows, crushed the car, and all the windows busted out, but she just climbed off the car and said, okay, apparently I'm not supposed to die.
I wonder if she left a note on the car.
Can you imagine? That's a good story, good question. Come walking out from getting coffee in a rush for work. Thank you. Oh, whoa, what happened to my car? I can't do anything right. I parked it right there. Why did I park it there? Should have parked over there. Oh, that is crazy. I never thought about that. Somebody came out to find their car smushed. Good point, Heidi. And our final story for this program, for the Scoop of the Day, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Dennis O'Leary held up a bank and made a clean getaway, stuffing the cash in his front pocket and fleeing on foot. He hadn't gone very far when he started to attract quite a bit of attention, though, or at least his pants did. They were smoking with red smoke. One of the bundles of cash was a dye pack. It exploded, and there was enough red smoke billowing from his pants that a couple of maintenance guys became suspicious. They grabbed him and detained him until the police showed up. So they're like, wait. That doesn't seem normal.
That doesn't look right.
No, it's everything's fine. It's an air freshener. No, they held him down, and yeah, the cops caught him. So there you go. This has been your Scoop of the Day.
John and Heidi.
How long's it been since you've been on vacation?
Way too long.
Well, we're going to Punta Cana this November for a cool event called 80s in the Sand.
I'm so looking forward to just being able to relax during the day. All day, every day for 7 full days. And, as a bonus, get to hear some awesome music at night.
You can also meet some 80s icons like Anthony Michael Hall, Andrew McCarthy, and many more.
Get all the details at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person.
That website again is 80sinthesand.com.
John and Heidi.
And it's time right now for another
Dear John letter.
Dear John. Dear John.
Each week at this time, we reach into the mailbag and pull out a Dear John letter. It's a digital mailbag because these all come in through Facebook. But I have it for you on the screen right here, Heidi. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. At the end, we'll tell you how to submit your Dear John letter for next week. But the first one that we have, or the one that we have for this week, is right here. It says, Dear John, this summer I've been working extra hours to help out some coworkers that have been out. We do not get paid better for overtime, so my check wasn't much bigger for all these extra hours. One coworker had some medical issues, so I was happy to help out. But the other has been lying to me. He claimed to be sick, but I just saw photos on his Facebook page of him out goofing off. Do I confront him about this or just say no next time he needs me to cover for him? I think it's sad that he took advantage of my kindness. Signed, Upset Coworker. Well, I think it's sad that he took advantage of your kindness as well. But first and foremost, you might want to make sure that those photos actually happened while he was, goofing off. If he was homesick and he just happened to be, sitting in his bed scrolling through his phone, finding photos of a better time, and he was posting those, wouldn't you feel really silly if you confronted him and he was like, yeah, didn't you notice in that photo I was 15 years younger? So I know it's really easy to jump to conclusions, but couldn't that have happened too, Heidi?
It's possible.
If you're in bed sick or if you're not feeling well, to be scrolling through your phone and posting stuff, because you could be on social media when you're sick. You might not want to be working with customers. I don't know what these people do. But I would be really cautious before you jump to that conclusion. And I'm not trying to stick up for this person, because who knows? Maybe they were just out goofing. And if they were at a concert or something that happened while they were sick, and you see that concert, now you know for sure that was it. But I would make sure first that those were current photos that they were posting, because I've had that happen before. Not when I thought somebody was sick, but I saw somebody and I sent a message because they were on vacation, and the photos was like, oh, wow, you guys are on vacation. They said, it was like 3 months ago. I just haven't had time to post any of this stuff. And we've done that. We've gone to Vegas before. What do I say to the kids when we leave?
Yeah, you don't want people posting stuff while we're gone.
I tell them, I say, guys, if you want to take photos and stuff, that's cool. We don't post any of that till we get home, because here's a bad idea. Post a bunch of stuff on social media saying we're not home.
Didn't sound like this guy was on vacation.
No,
it sounded like
I'm
he
just
was
saying, but it is
around.
But it is a possibility that he was just posting photos from, some other time when he was feeling better. So that's my first caution, that you don't know. Just because you think you know doesn't mean you necessarily know. You're shaking your head and smirking at me over there.
Yeah.
You're saying he was goofing off, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. People are evil. You can't trust anybody. That's why I don't do nice things for people anymore.
I've noticed this. Who in this household does?
You do, because you're very naive.
I know. And they'll rip me off, and then they'll call me back, and then I'll get ripped off again.
And then I'm always one saying, I told you.
I just believe in people. That's all. So first and foremost, I would make sure that he was really goofing off during the time he was sick. And then maybe you just say next time when he reaches out, I just don't have time. Because first thing in here, working extra hours, we don't get paid overtime. My check wasn't bigger for all the extra hours. It sounds like, you worked your tail off for not much. That can get exhausting, So if you're doing that and you're tired, just say, hey, I can't. I'm tired. I'm not feeling good either, But if I keep working, I'm going to be sick next week, So you want to cover for me next week? Then yeah, I guess I can cover for you this week. I don't know. What would you do, Heidi?
I'd show the pictures to the boss.
Would you really? Mm-hmm. So you'd say, hey, look at this. Remember when...
Oh, look how much fun he's having today while I'm here covering his hours. Isn't that great?
All right. Note to self. Don't ever sneak out on Heidi and have fun without her. She will show the boss. Wait a minute. She is the boss. So you would confront the employee, or you'd tell the boss?
I'd tell the boss, and then I'd confront the employee.
So when he's packing up his stuff, I told on you. Hey, if you would like to
then
have,
I'd wait till late at night and I'd egg his house.
We have completely different styles, don't we? Mine, very civil. Yours, not so much. Hey, if you've got a question that you'd like to ask next week to see what Psycho Heidi will say, you can submit that at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And we answer every question that comes our way. The ones that we answer on the air, we also post on Facebook. So at that same place, you can chime in with your 2 bits for this question as well. And I'd love it if you do that. I love getting input from other people. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Would you like custom t-shirts for an event or sports team? We understand that usually the budget's not unlimited. We have full-color custom printed t-shirts for just $7 each. That's one of the best prices you'll find anywhere. No minimum orders, so you can print just 1 or print 1,000. The price is just $7 per shirt with a minimal setup fee per design. Make the memories of your next event last forever, or help your team look amazing with a little help from CustomShirtInc.com. That's CustomShirtInc.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The largest gland in the human body is the liver, which is also the largest organ in the human body. Did you know that?
I didn't know it was also a gland.
I thought I read somewhere that your skin was the largest organ in the human body. Apparently that's something different.
That's the largest organ on the human body.
Is that what it is? Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The shortest overtime in NFL history was just 14 seconds.
Huh.
So they did overtime. This was in September of 2002, a game between the New York Jets and the Buffalo Bills. It was accomplished with a kickoff return by Chad Morton that gave the Jets a win in just 14 seconds, which would be the shortest overtime in NFL history, unless there was another one just recently that we don't know about, which would be easy because we don't keep up with sports here. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
About 17% of humans are left-handed, which interestingly enough, the same percentage for chimpanzees and gorillas. Or as our son calls them, chimpanzees. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
I'm like, I think it's chimpanzees. Like, no, I think you should emphasize
the
chimp.
chimp. Yeah.
It's chimpanzee, not chimp.
It makes sense to
pansy.
me when he
Why
says
would you emphasize pansy? Let's just talk about something else. And our final thing here. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The average person checks the time 90 times a day. Yeah, that's a lot.
I'm way below average.
Yeah, me too. Do you happen to have the time? I can tell you this. Our fun facts brought to you by pinkdrinkfree.com. Not just another diet, it's a way of life. That's pinkdrinkfree.com.
John and Heidi.
If you promised yourself you'd lose weight before you went to the beach, that's still within reach. Get some help from a cool pink drink. Try it free at pinkdrinkfree.com. This pink drink tastes great and can help you lose weight. 8 out of 10 Americans are overweight. If you're tired of being one of them, we'd love to help. People around the country are experiencing amazing results with this pink drink, and you can try it before you buy it at pinkdrinkfree.com. That's pinkdrinkfree.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Reaching for that paper towel in a public restroom could leave bacteria on your hands. The brands that use recycled paper were the most heavily contaminated. This according to scientists at Canada's Laval University. The concentration of bacteria in the recycled paper was between 100 and 1,000-fold higher than the virgin wood pulp brand. So they said, while the study doesn't imply that paper towels are unsafe, they could be a problem for those with weak immune systems. Still, it's not an excuse to avoid washing your hands, says Angela Golden, president of the American Academy of Nurse Practitioners. She suggests using air dryers if they are available. I'm not a fan of the air dryer myself.
I like the accelerator.
I know you do, because then you put your face down there and you take
funny.
photos
Yeah.
of the thing blowing your face funny. I always know if I can hear from like the restroom all the way out into the restaurant, like a turbojet going off, I know Heidi has to use the restroom. She's like, I'll be back in a minute. I'm like, I know exactly where she's going and I know exactly what she's doing. And when she comes back, it's going to be show and tell time. Guys, check this out. Check out these selfies. Everybody else is you can see in the selfie a line of people behind you all angry with wet hands. Like, would you just get out of my way?
I've gotten lots of people to stick their heads under there with me.
Do it.
People I
Check
don't
it
know,
out.
and then I take their pictures with their phones for them. We stand in the bathroom and just do that forever.
Where'd you
So
guys
much
meet?
fun.
In a ladies' room. we were putting our face under the blow dryer.
I was doing that in the state capitol one time.
Why does this not surprise me? Did the governor come in?
No,
I
one
guess
of the
that's...
senators did. They were
Oh.
looking at me really weird. I was like, it's really fun.
You wanna do
should
it?
Try it.
Did she?
She didn't try it.
You should have said she did. She would have been reelected for sure. No, we don't take part in those kind of shenanigans. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
John and Heidi.
I love watching TV shows and movies, but I hated seeing my monthly bill get higher and higher. All that money every month just to watch TV. Well, not anymore. We cut our cable. We were paying $185 a month for channels we didn't even watch. Now we pay for just the internet, and we save about $150 a month. And we still get to watch what we want, when we want, with no monthly fee. Learn how you can do this too at channelsurfertv.com. Watch the video there to learn how to watch movies and TV with no monthly fee. Do it today and save 50% at channelsurfertv.com.
John and Heidi.
Hey, if you're trying to break a snacking habit, here is a handy trick. They say, according to this, and I don't know if this is true, you're supposed to eat the snack with your non-dominant hand. So if you're right-handed, eat with your left hand.
Okay.
If you're one of the 17% of the people who are left-handed, eat with your right hand. But according to this personality and social psychology bulletin report, it makes you pay attention to what you're doing, says study co-author Wendy Wood, PhD. And that gives you a window to decide whether or not you really want to eat that or not. This is from Women's Health magazine. So they're saying
That is interesting.
you have to think more if you're grabbing with your left hand or your right hand, whichever your non-dominant hand is. I'm trying to think right now. I think I can shovel in just as much popcorn with either hand. So when we go to the movies, it doesn't matter which side I sit on. You can sit on either side of me, and I'll still snarf your popcorn down.
Yeah.
If we go out to a
I
restaurant,
don't think it would slow me down at all.
whichever side you sit on, I'll still grab your fries. So
Yeah, I know. And you never order fries.
I don't ever order fries. Why should I pay for fries when you already have some, and then you never finish them?
I always finish them.
Unless
I never get to finish them because you eat half of them.
No, if I don't eat any, then they're sitting there like half empty.
That is not true.
And you're like,
that is never. Have I
just
ever
can't. Yes.
left French fries
Yes.
behind? No, I have never. That
Never
has
leave a fry
happened.
behind.
It's so full of
Your
crap.
motto: never leave a fry behind.
It's my favorite food. I would never leave French fries behind.
All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
John and Heidi.
Hey, for those of you who have no time to exercise and even less interest, but you know you should exercise, what if you could exercise in very short bouts while you're at work or on your lunch hour or while doing chores around the house? Well, you can. They say just run up and down the stairs. Very short but intense bouts of stair climbing, which can be done basically anywhere there are stairs, have been proven to be major benefits of heart health. You don't need a gym membership for that. You don't need to find an hour a day for exercise. All you have to do is take the stairs. And they say take the stairs with force and vigor. This according to a Canadian Research Institute from McMaster University in Hamilton, Ontario. They say stair climbing is an effective and time-efficient alternative to improving heart health. It fits exercise into your life rather than having to structure your life around exercise. So there you go. Just take the stairs in a vigorous, what was the other one? Can be done for free.
Vigorous and purposeful
with
manner.
force. Vigorous and with force. You were just telling me about some folks that were walking up the down escalator. Do you think they were just doing this?
No, they were
or?
walking down the up escalator.
Oh, but they were... And
they were trying to leave the airport. It's two elderly people.
And you said it kind of seemed as though they had no clue that they were even doing that.
And they were on there for a long time, walking
people were
down. And then
taping
they
this.
looked around and just rode them backwards back up to the top and then went down the regular stairs, which were right next to it.
How would you like to be famous for that? Hey, wait a minute.
So
I know you from somewhere.
embarrassing.
I've seen you on a viral video. Weren't you walking down the up escalator?
And it was both of them. It was a husband and wife. They were both walking down.
It's because, just like us, we don't even pay attention to the world around us. We're locked into our conversation. Next thing you know, you're like, wow, we just talked for an extra 42 seconds. Sorry. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
How long's it been since you've been on vacation?
Way too long.
Well, we're going to Punta Cana this November for a cool event called 80s in the Sand.
I'm so looking forward to just being able to relax during the day. All day, every day for 7 full days. And, as a bonus, get to hear some awesome music at night.
You can also meet some 80s icons like Anthony Michael Hall, Andrew McCarthy, and many more.
Get all the details at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person.
That website again is 80sinthesand.com.
John and Heidi.
If you notice a difference between your brain power and different times of the year, there could actually be something to that. Could very well be that cold temperatures or steamy, humid days make a difference on how well you think, even in the strength of your short-term memory. This is from Health Day News, a research from the University of Liège in Belgium. The study found attention skills were best near the summer solstice in June and worst near the winter solstice in December, which is why I always forget to buy you a Christmas present. I don't ever forget to buy you a Christmas present. It says short-term memory was best in the fall and worst in the spring. Here's an important note. The difference in brain functions are not significant enough for us to notice this in our day-to-day life. However, the amount of brain activity did change. And this author of the report insists that the season is most likely responsible for that change. How do the seasons affect our brain power? Well, we don't know. That's not clear. But researchers do think that it's multiple factors, like seasonal changes in humidity, temperature, the length of days, even social interaction between people that are involved. So there's a lot of factors, so they can't really pinpoint it down to it's exactly this. I can tell you this. When we used to live in a different community, and our neighbors were wonderful people. We loved our neighbors, but we would see them only during warm months. Mm-hmm. When it was cold outside, we weren't standing out in the cold talking to each other.
Right.
I remember one year we had them at our house for New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
So we did hang out one time in the cold, but for the most part, we were summer friends, which is weird. We would see each other all summer, and then it'd be like the whole winter. As a matter of fact, they had a child.
It's like that where we live now, too.
I know, yeah. But they even had a child, and I didn't even realize she was pregnant. I was like, wow, When did you have a child? It happened over the wintertime. I was like, that is just crazy. I didn't even realize. And they were right next door. So I think there's a lot to this seasonal change and with the weather. I think a lot of that just has to do with our habits as people.
Right.
You know, when it's nice out, we're outside. When it's not so nice out, we're not outside. So could be something like that. Coming up, we do have some good news that's coming your way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I always find something out there that's positive. It's a lot easier, though, if you guys share some great stuff with me, and this was shared with me. I think this is really neat. A study from Keosoto University, which I probably didn't get right, shows those with chronic disease, if you have chronic disease, owning an animal can help improve your heart health. That is really cool to know. So researchers monitored about 200 people who have chronic diseases, things like diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. Over 24 hours, they monitored them, and they found those with a pet, whether it was a furry friend or a feathered friend or even a scaly friend, had a higher heart rate and a variability than those who did not. What that means is their hearts responded better to changing requirements of the body, such as beating faster during stressful situations. Reducing heart rate variability has been linked with an increased risk of dying from heart disease. So this is not a fun thing. The study lead author, Nakoto Ibaya, which I'm sure I got wrong as well, said, among patients with coronary artery disease, pet owners exhibit a great 1-year survival rate more so than non-pet owners. So if it's as simple as that, if you have one of those chronic diseases, if it's as simple as just getting a pet, and it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be a cat or a dog or a bird or a fish, it can be any kind of pet. Wouldn't that just be a simple answer?
Yeah.
It could even be a pet, like a fish.
Imagine how sick I'd be without our dogs.
I'd be visiting you probably somewhere else in a
At a
ward.
cemetery.
No, I was thinking some sort of ward. I have to go in and check in to go see my wife. We should have got a dog. Well, we actually have 2 dogs, and we have one dog that's going to be celebrating her birthday here on the 7th of July.
10 years old.
07 is when she was born. Her 10-year anniversary. So she'll be
Birthday.
70. Oh, yeah, that's whatever it is. So she's going to be 70 in dog years, right?
I believe so.
Do you remember where we were that day?
Where we were what day?
On the day Mandy was born.
No.
I do, and you will as soon as I tell you. Jason and Jenny's wedding. 07. Remember?
Oh.
You don't remember that?
No.
It was your cousin.
I don't remember anything.
I remember, and you don't. How great is that? Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. If you have a chronic disease, the good news is get a pet. And if you don't want to remember where you were on your cousin's wedding day, I guess your name is Heidi.
Time now for the bonus break on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on Sunny Radio. We've got a special guest joining us right now, Ray Parker Jr. You all know him from the song Ghostbusters. We've got him on the line right now. How you doing, sir?
I am doing absolutely wonderful. Having a great time.
Well, we are so excited to chat with you on the program here. Now, I got to tell you, when I was a kid, that was one of my favorite movies, and that was one of my favorite songs. And I have my own Ghostbusters story. When I was a kid, this is before I knew any better, I had a request and dedication at the roller rink, and the guy said, yeah, what song do you want to dedicate? And it was Ghostbusters. He said, are you for real? It was supposed to be like a love song. Well, that was a love song to me, and it did me well. So I love the song.
Well, as long as it worked with the girl, you're good.
There you go. Now, you've got a really cool program that's going to be coming to a big screen real soon, Hired Gun. And let's talk a little bit about the movie Hired Gun, or would you call it a movie or a movie event? What do you call this exactly?
I like to call it a movie. I guess you could call it somewhat of a documentary, but it's sort of in the middle. It's very, very high-paced pace, and it's exciting. And for those who think it's all just love and fun and glory being a musician, it shows you the other side of it, what it's like to be hired and fired.
And this is a really fun thing with the folks from Fathom Events. It's coming up tonight, actually. We've got tickets that we've been giving away, so it's sneaking up on the big screen tonight from Fathom Events, and it's going to be on the big screens in Sioux Falls. Out of the Shadows, Into the Spotlight, Hired Gun. And one of the many people featured on this program is Ray Parker Jr., who we're talking to right now. So now this is talking about like studio session musicians. How long were you a studio session musician, sir?
I'm going to say well, first of all, I'm still a studio session musician, so let's count that too. But I was going to say I started at 14 years old.
And how did you get involved in doing that, being a session musician at age 14?
Well, my dad had got tired of hearing me practice the guitar all day, every day. It was the winter time, so he said, I just can't take it anymore. He took my amplifier, and he put it outside in the cold. And I kept playing, and finally a guy drove by and said, I'll give you $15 if you play that over my house in the backyard.
Nice.
So that was my first professional time getting paid.
And what did that feel like, getting $15 to play back then?
I think I was about 11 or 12 years old. Felt really good.
That $15 probably felt like hundreds of dollars, didn't it?
Exactly.
So now, back in the 1980s, you had several big hits, but the biggest hit, of course, Ghostbusters. Now, when you had the opportunity to do that song for the movie Ghostbusters, how did that opportunity come about?
Well, I had done a lot of records for Barry White, and Gary Linnell was who'd become the vice president of Columbia Pictures. We knew each other from the Barry White days, so they were reaching out to people for a whole year. No one could have written a song that they liked, and he thought I was the right guy for the job. And I didn't know what he was talking about in the beginning, but, I guess he saw something I didn't see. Because he called me up and said, hey, you're the guy that's good to do this. Please help us out. We need a song, and we need it fast now because the movie's coming out. And so they hired me to write the song.
And the rest, as they say, is history.
The rest is truly history.
Now, when you... First of all, do you ever get sick of that song? Do you get sick of people bringing up the song Ghostbusters because it was such a huge hit?
Absolutely not. It's my favorite song because it makes everybody happy, no matter what the age range or age group, and it never gets old. It's just a timeless piece.
Well, I'm really glad to hear that you say that, because I remember watching a program, and the gentleman that sang Come On Eileen, he was saying, I wish I'd have never sang that song. He just hates the song now. And I was like, why would you hate the song that is, your definitive song? I just don't understand how you could go from this made me so successful to I hate it. I would just be really sad to hear that. And I'm glad to hear that you love the song.
Yes. Yeah, that's crazy. I say you hate it.
Well, I'm really glad to hear that you love it. Again, visiting right now with Ray Parker Jr., and he is going to be featured on the big screen tonight, Hired Gun. We've got all the details on our social media, so if you don't have tickets yet, get them now. It's Out of the Shadows, Into the Spotlight, Hired Gun. It's a Fathom Events event coming to a big screen in Sioux Falls, South Dakota tonight. We'd love it if you'd come out and join us. Like I said, we gave some tickets away to this already, but there's certainly an opportunity for you to buy a ticket, and it's very affordable to come out and be a part of this really fun event. Now, with the Hired Gun, how did they go about picking you to be a part of this? Was this something that do you know how you got selected to be a part of it, Ray?
Well, absolutely. One of the guys that's playing guitar in it was Jay Graydon. And in the old days, we used to play side by side all the time. He's an excellent, wonderful musician. He played, I think he played the solo for Peg and Steely Dan, amongst other things. Many, many records. So he called me up and told me he thought it was a good idea. So I didn't research it anymore because if Jay says do it, I'm doing it.
That's awesome. Well, I'm excited to see it. It's coming up tonight on the big screen in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. All of the details on our Facebook page if you'd like to go. We'd love it if you'd join us. Facebook.com/sunnyradio. Go there to get all the details and come out and join us tonight. On the line with us right now, Ray Parker Jr. He's featured in the movie Out of the Shadows, Into the Spotlight, Hired Gun. Again, Ray, thank you so much for your time today.
Well, thank you. It was a lot of fun.
And I'm going to let you introduce a song. Guess what song I'm going to play?
Uh-oh. Who are you going to call?
Ghostbusters. That's who we're going to call. Thank you so much for listening to Sunny Radio, where it's always in the 80s.